probability of success is logged as near zero.
Right.
And I don't mean just, oh, this is going to be tough. I mean, the algorithm takes one look at the parameters and basically returns a 404 error on survival.
Usually when you see those numbers, the mission just doesn't happen. Or if it does, it ends up as a very short, very redacted file in some archive.
But this one is different, a massive anomaly. We are diving into the last tithe mission on Ocularis III. And we've been going through this document, the obsidianshard.pdf. And let me tell you, this is not your standard after-action report.
No, it reads less like a debriefing and more like a study in psychological warfare mixed with, well, metaphysics, really.
That's a great way to put it. It's a case study on balancing two completely opposing forces. On one side, you have this extreme, almost supernatural order. They call it the soul bond. And on the other, you have total weaponized chaos, battlefield madness. It's the immovable object and the unstoppable force, but they're somehow on the same team.
Yeah.
The focus here is a squad called the Obsidian Shard, led by Captain Gabe Salazar.
And right away, the profile on this unit is just bizarre. It calls them unexplainable to the mortal world.
Which is a strong claim.
A very strong claim. But the tactical data seems to back it up. You have Captain Salazar, who's the commander, the pillar. But in this squad, he's not just the guy barking orders.
Yeah.
He's the central node of a psychic network.
Okay, let's pause there, because when I see psychic network in a military file, my mind goes to, parlor tricks. But this feels more grounded.
It is, in a tactical sense.
We have to talk about Lyra. The roster lists her as the librarian. I'm assuming she's not there to stamp books.
No, definitely not. In this context, librarian implies a heavy weaponized psychic. But the interesting part isn't just her power, it's her connection to Gabe.
This is the part that stood out to me. The logs describe it as a mind link born of love, which sounds incredibly dangerous for a combat unit, doesn't it? Emotional attachment is usually the first thing they try to train out of you.
Conventionally, yes, you want detachment. But here, they've inverted it. This bond is an anomaly, something that surpasses known reasoning. Instead of being a weakness, it's a high bandwidth data cable.
A shared consciousness.
Exactly.
So what does that look like in a firefight? Is he just hearing her thoughts?
It's more immediate. It creates what the source calls a red zone tactical overlay directly in his HUD. Gabe isn't just seeing through his own eyes.
He's seeing what she senses.
Simultaneously. It's a 360-degree awareness that lets them navigate situations where any other unit would just be completely blind.
So she's the radar, he's the steering wheel, but they're sharing the same brain. That's intense.
It is, and that's just the command structure.
Then you have the rest of the core team. Jesse Kobos, Jester, and Danny Salas, Koner.
The Brotherhood.
The Brotherhood. And this is the part I found statistically mind-blowing. The dossier says they're all childhood friends.
It is, and I quote, unheard of.
Right. I mean, think about the screening for these Space Marine units. It's so rigorous. What are the odds that 3 kids from the same neighborhood all have what it takes, survive, and then end up in the same squad?
Astronomically low. Almost zero. Jesse is Gabe's foster brother. Danny is a childhood friend to both of them. And because of that, they have a tactical advantage you just can't train for.
The Band of Brothers concept on steroids.
Exactly. Most squads run drills until they can anticipate each other. These 3 have a bond forged over a whole lifetime before they even put on the armor.
So when they move, it's not callouts over the Vox.
No, it's pure instinct. Perfectly synchronized efficiency. They don't need to communicate verbally because they're already on a shared frequency of intuition.
The source uses the phrase single organism.
Which is the perfect description.
They aren't just fighting together. They're one entity with multiple limbs. That stability, that perfect sync, that's the anvil.
That is the thing that holds the line, yes.
Which brings us to the hammer. We have the order, we have the psychic link. Now let's talk about the wild card.
Baby J.
Baby J, the disruptor. He's described as the complete opposite of the team. A newer member, handpicked by Gabe for this one mission. And the reason he was picked is what the file calls battlefield madness. Now, to me, madness sounds like a massive liability. You want precision, not a berserker.
In a standard operation, yes. But remember the parameters, success probability near zero. You don't beat those odds by following the rules.
You beat them by introducing a variable the enemy can't predict. So his madness is a feature, not a bug.
Precisely. It's weaponized rage. And there's a metric in the analysis that is just staggering. It says Baby J brings the combined combat presence of 10 men.
One guy equals 10. How does that even work?
It's about his impact on the enemy. They're fighting the Tyranid hive mind.
A collective consciousness.
Right, a biological supercomputer. It relies on patterns, logic. It calculates resistance, biomass, and it swarms. It fights with math.
But you can't put berserker rage into an algorithm.
You really can't. The hive mind can predict standard tactics, standard movements. It cannot calculate crazy.
So Baby J is just pure illogical chaos.
A singular localized storm. The log says when he moves forward, his guttural snarl is loud enough to overdrive the hum of his power armor. He just breaks their ability to process the battle.
So the board is set. Ocularis III. Let's talk about the drop itself. The Oathhammer drop pod slams into a plaza. This isn't a gentle landing.
No, it's a violent insertion right into the heart of a hive city. But watch what happens the second the ramp drops.
The soul bond kicks in immediately.
Yes. Gabe steps into the ash, and that mind link is already streaming data. He's got the overlay. Behind him, Jesse and Danny form that tactical anchor. Cool, precise.
And then Baby J steps out.
And the whole atmosphere changes. His rage ignites just at the sight of the ruins. He becomes that unknown factor.
So they start the push. The objective is the Aegis script. But the way they fight is the whole point, right?
Yeah.
The text calls it a display of tactical insanity.
It's the synthesis of the two states. Imagine a wedge formation. Lyra is acting as a psychic electronic warfare suite. She's jamming the Tyranid synapse signals,
Blinding their commanders.
creating static in their network. At the same time, she's channeling a psychic bleed into Gabe's HUD, giving him this omniscient top-down view of the carnage.
So he knows exactly where the swarm is thickest.
And that's where he points Baby J.
To tip of the spear.
Exactly. Baby J leads the vanguard with hyper-violence, just carving paths through the swarm. The Tyrannies try to swarm him, but he's too chaotic. Their lines break.
And this is where the brothers come in. Because if Baby J is just running forward, he's going to get flanked.
And that's their genius. They exploit the chaos he creates. The logs say they cover his blind spots with lethal efficiency. Because of the soul bond, they know where the gaps are going to be before they even open.
So Baby J kicks the door down, and they're already shooting the guys inside before the dust settles.
That's the dynamic. The soul bond provides stability, the structure, while Baby J provides the raw, shattering force. It's a beautiful, terrifying machine.
And it works. They secure the Aegis script in record time. Mission accomplished.
In a movie, maybe, but you can't make that much noise without drawing attention.
They kick the hornet's nest so hard the entire hive woke up.
The hive mind realizes it can't win with pawns, so it flips the table. It deploys heavy biotitans, skyscraper-sized monsters. The city starts collapsing around them.
So the mission shifts from combat to survival.
And this is where we get to the calculation of sacrifice. They have to get to the Stormbird for extraction, but there's a mechanical failure, an atmospheric stabilizer.
Right. It needs to be held open manually, which is a death sentence. Someone has to stay behind.
And look who steps up first. Danny. Koner.
Why him?
The log is very specific. The role required someone who could remain perfectly synced with Gabe's mind to time the release to the millisecond. It wasn't just holding a lever.
It was a complex timing.
And Danny knew he could do it. He was leveraging that childhood bond. He was ready to trade his physical form so the unit could survive.
He was willing to be the gear that broke so the machine could keep running.
Yes. But then the tactical necessity shifts.
The swarm gets too thick.
The biotitans are closing in. It's not about holding a door open anymore. The problem is that the enemy is looking right at the ship.
They'll get shot out of the sky. The problem isn't the door, it's the giant target on their backs.
Correct. The new requirement isn't timing. It's distraction.
And this is where Baby J realizes his true purpose.
He stops Danny. He knows precision isn't what's needed now. What's needed is noise. Chaos. He turns away from the ramp. His battlefield madness peaks.
There's a quote in the log, he just voxes go.
And his voice is described as distorted by rage. He knows he's the only one who can provide that massive battlefield signature.
Let's deepen that concept.
Yeah.
Because what happens next isn't just a soldier fighting a rear guard action.
Yeah.
This is a phenomenon.
This is the ultimate force multiplier. Baby J doesn't just fight, he creates a combat presence so immense that it masks the ship's heat signature from the Tyranids.
Wait, hold on. He masks the ship's heat signature. A Stormbird is a massive piece of machinery. Huge engines, huge heat output.
That's what the source says. Think about the intensity of that. His whirlwind of fire and steel, his sheer output of violence and rage, creates a signal so hot that the ship effectively disappears in his sensory shadow.
He became a brighter star than the ship's engines. That's unbelievable.
It is. The description is just haunting. A whirlwind of fire and steel in a sea of claws. He was drawing their entire collective consciousness onto himself.
And Gabe feels it happen from inside the ship.
He feels the sharp, jagged heat of Baby J dying through the mind link. It's not like watching a screen. He feels the life of his squad mate just snuff out. A force of nature refusing to be extinguished quietly.
And that would break any other commander. Feeling that in your own mind.
It would have shattered a normal man. But this is where Lyra becomes critical again. She anchors him, she steps into his mind, prevents him from breaking under the grief, and keeps his tactical focus locked on saving that data core.
She dampens the emotional shockwave.
Exactly.
So the Stormbird escapes, Ocularis III becomes a tomb, the mission is a success.
But the cost is absolute. They traded a brother, a weapon with the force of 10 men for the galaxy's future.
There's a line in the aftermath that really stuck with me. The logs say the warmth of the connection remained even after Baby J's death.
An unexplained presence that transcended his mortal end.
What does that even mean?
That's the lingering mystery of the soul bond. It suggests something metaphysical. The connection didn't snap when the heart stopped. The obsidian shard is written in a bond that, according to the text, death could never truly break.
So Baby J is still part of the single organism, even if he's not physically there.
Which forces us to redefine what unit cohesion even means. Is it just training, or is it something that touches the soul?
So here's the question I want to leave you with. We see the clear tactical advantage of this soul bond. It let them win the unwinnable. But when a piece of that single organism is torn away, is the advantage worth the infinite weight of the grief that comes with it? Can a unit really function when they're constantly carrying the ghosts of their missing limbs?
That is the question only the obsidian shard can answer.
That's all for this deep dive. Thanks for listening.